Welcome, family, to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. Thank you for tuning in to our global network. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please share this video podcast with your friends. We ask that you do this because we want others to know we're here. This video podcast is available in three forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. I cite all of my sources on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. I encourage my listeners to click on the link to my current Medium transcript so that you can read my sources in real time and respond when we open up the discussion for Q&A. We're dedicated to discussing controversial issues such as the genocide which is taking place among our youth in our inner cities across the United States. We can't sugarcoat genocide. Although I have little to no support from people in my city in Chicago, I refuse to be ignored. Purpose: to educate people, black people, African people, and others who are serious about solving black issues in America, solving African issues on the continent and throughout the diaspora, as well as to raise funds for our film project, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from around the globe. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships, grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. I want to send a special thank you to everyone who has contributed to our film project. Thank you very much. It's always good to know that we have the support from the black grassroots and the global African family. Our goal is to raise $500,000 so that I can be in a better position financially to hire a professional black production company or an African production company with quality actors. Without support from the black grassroots and the global African family, I am unable to do my job. Non-black sympathizers, you are welcome to join us and to patronize us, but it's black people's responsibility to build it and to own it. I'm calling on all of my Christian group members in Light of the World Inspirational Group and Christian Spoken Word Network to pray that God would connect me with people who have the means to support our film project. Pray that my revised book would get on the bestsellers list. Pray that the Spirit of God would allow our film project to get fully funded and made in Jesus Yahshua's name. I am encouraging all of my group members to do what you can to help us reach our goals so that we can move from behind a computer, starting with getting our story on the big screen and getting our Christian business up and running in Chicago. It's my hope that the Lord would connect me with people who have the means to support our film project. I am doing all I can on my part to get our urban Christian film fully funded and made. Please continue to pray over my film project that the Lord would bless me to get this film fully funded and made so that I can move to the next level. That is The proceeds generated from the film will put me in a better position financially so that I can hire black middle class professionals, buy office equipment, and purchase property in Chicago. It's my hope that Ghettos Chicago will become a franchise just like McDonald's and spread to other cities within America. Through the business, we will launch African and Caribbean tours. We want to visit at least 10 African nations in order to form an alliance with our brothers and sisters on the continent so that we can do international trade among our people. We will set up the business in South Africa. We plan on hosting monthly virtual conferences on Facebook Live. If you would like to be a part of our panel, then send me a message to my Facebook inbox and we can discuss the details and practice ahead of time so that we can put on a good show for our audience. I want to use this conference to interact with our viewers as well as to help raise funds for our film project. We will be using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to each topic. It's my hope to have at least 4 people on the panel before we open the discussion for Q&A. My film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group in America. Please consider supporting our film project in 4 ways. They are as follows. 1, through our GoFundMe page. I need your help. Please share our GoFundMe page with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. I am not running for public office. I am not interested in traveling around the country due to the fact that I am working with a shoestring budget. This is why I'm online promoting our virtual store, my revised book, and this online talk show. Those of you who are serious about meeting me in person, then I encourage you to first purchase my revised book and read my story. Send me an email to make arrangements to meet with me at Harold Washington Library so that I can answer your questions directly and in person. 2, you can also support our film project by purchasing my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition, which is available on my Amazon author page. I provide each website on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. You can also find each website on my YouTube channel under About. 3, our virtual store, Gracam Online. We provide merchandise such as COVID face masks, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All proceeds will go toward our film project. 4, through our PayPal page. Ghettos Chicago, the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, is a faith-based community advocacy organization. Our mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, and spiritual development. Donations can be used as a tax write-off for U.S. citizens because this is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organization. If you are unable to participate on the show, no worries. When you have a moment, please watch our latest video podcast or listen to our audio podcast and leave a public comment in the comment section on my YouTube page or on my Facebook page about the topic. Most of all, please share my information with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Instructions on how to participate on the show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A. After I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time through either by voice call, by clicking on the phone icon, or by video call by clicking on the camera icon. Today's topic of discussion is as follows. The importance of patronizing our film project. The second topic, where's our anti-black hate crime bill? Our third topic, playing dumb about the threat of white supremacy in America, and the Texas school massacre. Our first topic, the importance of patronizing our film project. Today, we are going to deal with some very controversial issues that affect Black people. We are already in the month of June, and out of 1,532 people on my Facebook friends list, only 2 people have contributed $70 on our GoFundMe page. This is why it's taken me so long, family. We are in this together. Again, it's not my burden alone. I decided to use GoFundMe as our crowdfunding platform. Once we reach 200,000, then we will work on doing our movie trailer. Last month, I called on a referendum on all Black Christians in America. I am challenging every Black Christian in America to purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan that Jesus/Yahshua has given me, then work with me and turn in that vision into a reality. Today, I'm going to take a step further. I am challenging everyone on my friends list who are part of the conscious community to purchase my revised book and read my story for yourself. If you agree with my vision and plan, then work with me in turning my vision into a reality. We can sit here and talk about white supremacy, systematic racism, and the government all day long. But when it's all said and done, what are you going to do about it? I am putting my reputation on the line. I am trying to move Gracam from behind a computer, but it takes capital to start a business. The financial elites won't fund this because this is about getting Black people act together on a domestic front and also on an international front. I have been paying out of pocket for the business title since 2019. I have written and published my revised book in order to generate capital for the business, yet my book is barely selling. I created an online store to sell items to help generate capital for the business. I was blessed to earn $1,000. It's a start, but family, we have to do better. Our film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group in America. I also need our global African family to step up and help contribute something to our film project because, after all, through this business, I will bring the best of the diaspora to your country. Black Americans, as a collective, have a $1 trillion spending power. This will help benefit your country's economy. I want to establish our business in Chicago and turn it over to qualified Black middle-class professionals to help me manage it while I take my talents and skills to South Africa. I want to lead by example by applying for dual citizenship, setting up the business in South Africa, and working on shooting our next film there. I have invested 30 years of my life trying to do something positive for my racial group in America, but many of our people just don't care about building something for our children. That's why this organization will be membership based. We are only responsible for our members. Those who are not interested, we will pray for them, show them tough love, and keep it moving. Now, when I come to Africa, I'm not putting up with this mess. And I don't want to waste time trying to explain who I am. The business is going to speak for itself. But I want to work with Africans that want more out of life. And those are the ones we're going to focus on. And I want to make sure that I'm able to sustain myself when I come to Africa. Because my goal is to set the organization up there, to have a foot in Africa, and hopefully expand to, outside of South Africa, expand to 9 other African nations. But we want to definitely start it in South Africa first. Without support from the black grassroots and the global African family, I am unable to do my job. I will continue to use my show every week to raise funds for our film project until we reach our goal. This docudrama will touch on many things within the black community. This film will be of interest to everyone. The money raised through GoFundMe will be used for travel expenses for the film crew to film. The money will also be used to create special effects and titles, as well as for the process of combining all of these elements: rendering, composition, sound design, and editing. There are also hardwares and softwares that we need in order to create everything at high resolution so that the finished film will be available on DVDs and in selected theaters. Most of the funds will be used for media promotions for the release of the film. Please help me spread the word and share this project on social media with your friends. Pledge of $10. We're grateful for any contribution and we'll gladly put you on our updated list and keep you posted on our developments. You'll also be the first to know about screenings, events, and news about the film. Please pass the word. Small contributions add up and can make all the difference. Pledge of $25 will get you on the updated list, and you will get a special thanks on the film's website. Pledges of $100 will get you a DVD of the film as well as your name listed in the film's under the quote special thanks credit. Pledges of $1,000 will get your name listed as an associated producer on the film's credit and the Internet Movie Database. Pledge of $5,000 will get your name listed on the film's credits and on the Internet Movie Database as an exclusive producer on the film. Also, we will provide travel expenses for you to come to the screening of the film. As a donor, you will receive exclusive content and behind-the-scenes updates. The goal of actor contributions will help give us the ability to hire black people to bring more content to the business. Our goal is to provide jobs for youth in the community. Our objective is to create a genuine, sovereign, and self-sufficient Africa in which both Africans and the diaspora can rightfully benefit from. Our programs are focused on rebuilding Africa to secure our future. The talent to rebuild Africa is here. Grakai of Chicago will recruit the diaspora and continental Africans to reconnect and help Africa experience her potential. Without the diaspora, Africa will continue to languish, and without Africa, the diaspora will continue to weaken as well. Grakai of Africa will also play an intricate role in ushering in an African Renaissance in which the diaspora and continental Africans can pull our collective resources together and do international trade among ourselves and and others. We want to match African entrepreneurs with black entrepreneurs and African artists with black artists. The time is now to sow seeds of hope, prosperity, peace, and sovereignty, and plant them. So in the future, we will reap a mighty harvest for Africa and the diaspora to prosper from. Please partner with us in making this objective a reality and creating an African paradise, a paradise in which Africa controls its destiny and resources and does not have to rely on foreign exploiters who do not serve the best interests of African people. The guy of Chicago will eventually offer a private sector for our for-profit services. Objective to provide credit and other financial services to small black-owned businesses who do not have access to traditional financing. We approach our investments and clients with a, quote, partnership approach, unquote, where we act as your commercial capital consultant to identify your capital need and provide the right solution to solve that capital need. Our goal is to help black families and black businesses achieve important financial goals throughout Chicago and beyond. We will connect our members with grassroots funding opportunities for underrepresented black communities to excel. We will help them stay concentrated on their businesses by giving them a platform for growth and stability. Raise capital through our crowdfunding platform, which will open up doors for black entrepreneurs to raise money and garner support from the black community. We will also serve as a branding engine to get people more familiar with your brand. Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, where's our anti-black hate crime bill? For those of you who reside in South Carolina, I would like for you to consider voting for our brother, Marcel Dixon. He's running against James E. Clyburn, who has been in public office for 30 years and has done nothing to help improve the lives of black people in South Carolina. To learn more about Marcel Dixon, go to my Medium transcript and scroll down to Show and Prove. President Joe Biden visited Buffalo and talked a good game, but he did not offer anything to protect black Americans. He talked about gun control. New York is one of the most strictest states as it pertains to gun laws. Biden also said he wants to regulate social media. We have seen a lot of incompetence with these career politicians. The Democrats had an opportunity to win the black vote. All they needed to do was go to Congress and replicate the same kind of anti-hate crime bill they did for the Asians, but the financial elites don't want black people to be protected. The Attorney General, Letitia James in New York, created a hotline for Asian Americans. Where is the hotline for black people? Black people in New York, y'all need to start tweeting and writing your state representatives and demand a anti-black hate crime bill. Right? Attorney General Letitia James, and ask her to create an anti-black hotline just like she did for Asians. If she does not create a anti-black hotline, then she is discriminating against her own people. And you guys know what you need to do. You need to vote her out of office because she's not representing you. Write your governor, Hochul, and demand those millions of dollars be distributed to black organizations to fight against anti-black racism. The same thing that was done for the Asians, we need the same thing done for us. Black people are finding out the hard way that these Democrats care less about giving us an anti-black hate crime bill, yet these black politicians refuse to listen to us because they are in the pockets of the financial elites. For example, Stacey Abrams came on the 85 South comedy show to discuss politics. One of the hosts asked her why politicians don't say something specifically for black people. She responded, they can't do nothing for black people because we're only 12% of the population and they don't want to offend white voters. Well, white voters are already offended. That's why we're not getting things done anyway. In terms of tangibles. So if people are offended, let them be offended. But if you want our vote, you're going to have to break bread with us. It's just that simple, y'all. Yet they can do something for Asians who are far less than 12%. These politicians are going to have to break bread with us, or we won't support them at all. Al Sharpton said, quote, we can't just fight for our tribe, unquote. We have to include Asians, Latinos, and LGBT. That's anti-black talking points. He is trying to shift the conversation away from black people. I provide a video clip about that on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. Roland Martin told Benjamin Crump, we don't need an anti-black hate crime bill. Bottom line, Roland Martin does not want black people to be protected because he is in the pockets of the financial elites, as well as Joy Reid, Tamika Mallory. All of them are no different than Candace Owens, Larry Elder, or Jesse Lee Peterson. They don't want nothing done for black people. They just want whatever they can get from the financial elites. President Joe Biden does not support an anti-black hate crime bill. If he did, then he would use his power to create one just like he did for the Asians. The financial elites don't want the mindset I have to become contagious in black America, because that will turn our situation around 360 degrees. It's really despicable that Obama chose this man to be his vice president. Obama was a Trojan horse that fooled black America. I mentioned in my revised book that it does not matter if the president of the United States was green. His loyalty is not to the American people. His loyalty is to the financial elites and their agenda. What we learned from Obama is, if a black politician comes out of nowhere and the mainstream media is elevating him, we have to check his track record. I warned black America during the 2020 election not to vote for Biden. He had a troubled track record with black people. Black America refused to heed my message. 80% voted for the Democrats. Now that we need them the most, they are turning their backs on us. But when the Asian community needed them, they immediately passed the Asian hate crime bill and gave them $50 million for their businesses. Congress just passed a resolution against anti-Semitic, but the Democrats are not trying to protect us. We need an anti-black hate crime bill which specifically emphasizes and prioritizes black people. Furthermore, the anti-black hate crime bill should consist of three things. First, it should address our history, systematic racism, and terrorism our group experienced in this country. Secondly, it should include the FBI statistics, which would reveal that black people are the number one victims of hate crimes in America. Finally, it should provide a reparation package because we are descendants of American slaves. Our ancestors were stolen from Africa and were forced to help build America without any compensation. If the Democrats won't give us a anti-black hate crime bill, then we will not vote for them. We can't continue to be political fools, electing the same political party and not demanding tangible for our votes. The financial elites are using our tax dollars to benefit everybody else. For example, all of these other groups are benefiting from our votes and our tax dollars. Asians, Latinos, LGBTs, Ukrainians, Afghan refugees, and illegal immigrants. It's gonna get worse in America. Food and gas prices are on the rise. Crime is also on the rise across the United States of America. America is starting to descend into a second world status. I want black people to understand something. America is the new Egypt. For example, look at the symbol on the back of a single dollar bill. It has a pyramid. The Washington Monument in Washington, D.C. represents, I can't pronounce this word, so I'm going to spell it out. It's Obelisk of ancient Egypt. From a spiritual viewpoint, please read Genesis chapter 15, verse 13 through 14, and that would be from the King James Version. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. Ezekiel 34, chapters 11 through 16. The mainstream media news reporters want black people to discuss forgiveness, not to emphasize our pain, but rather to taint the jury. For example, remember the case with Amber Geiger. The prosecutor wanted her to receive a 30-year sentence, but the jury said the victim's family was showing mercy and recommended a shorter sentence. The forgiveness tactics affects justice, ladies and gentlemen. I found an article from Forbes entitled, quote, "We asked black Americans, how safe do you feel 2 years after George Floyd's murder?" Unquote. Here are their answers. I will not read the entire article, but you are welcome to do so. I provide the full article on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. The article said 2 years after George Floyd's murder, black Americans were asked which institutions they trust to push for change. They named nonprofit organizations, small businesses, and even the government. Big business ranked last. They asked part of the reasons why expectations were so high because companies promised a lot in the wake of Floyd's death by a rogue cop. These mega corporations and the majority of white Americans, if they were serious, they would dismantle white supremacy by putting pressure on these politicians to change the laws, but they're not going to do that. Both white liberals and white conservatives benefit from white supremacy. The article goes on to say that nearly 6 in 10 black Americans said they feel safe. However, 1/3 said they feel less safe than they did 2 years ago. One reason law enforcement officers have killed 549 black people since 2020. Mapping police violence, which tracks killing by police, says black people are nearly 3 times more likely to be killed by law enforcement than white people. Quote, "The fact is that we're in a struggle every day for dignity, respect, and humanity," unquote, says attorney Benjamin Crump, who has represented numerous black families affected by police brutality. America is America, it's a struggle every day. It's just mentally draining, unquote. The stress we have in America is not healthy, and stress alone is killing us. Black people have been so ingrained to find a job instead of creating our own businesses. The Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago will take the lead in turning around our situation in America if given a chance. I don't want to be online another 30 years repeating the same message. I have a vision and a plan to help black people, but without support from the black grassroots and again the global African family, I am unable to do my job. And as a result, our people will continue to suffer. America is pro-business. People in business get more perks and earn more money than workers. As I mentioned in my revised book, the reason why Black America is failing is because we have been taught to just get a job rather than become entrepreneurs. Based on this study, a majority of black people are lost because America is not going to treat us equally. If everyone on my Facebook friends list and in my social groups would donate to our film project, then we could see major changes in our inner cities in America. But the reality is, many black people prefer to be treated as third and fourth class citizens as long as they are under massa. Lord have mercy on my racial group. For those of you who don't know your history, America was founded on white supremacy way before the U.S. Constitution was written. That's something black Americans have to accept. The financial elites consider our ancestors as 3/5 human, and they wrote that garbage in their constitution. For more information, go to my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our third topic, playing dumb about the threat of white supremacy in America. I would like to encourage my listeners to watch both video clips on my Medium transcript entitled, quote, Man Who Allegedly Talked to Supermarket Gunman Day Before Shooting speaks on attack and, quote, I asked him if he could leave, unquote. Buffalo's supermarket worker kicked gunman out of store night before and scroll down to Show and Prove. A brother by the name of Grady Lewis actually spoke with the shooter a day before his killing spree. In contrast, a sister by the name of Chanel Harris Tingley asked the potential shooter to leave the store the night before his killing spree. Peyton Gendron came to the same store more than once. He was wearing the same camouflage outfit. He was suspicious. That's why Chanel asked him to leave the store the night before the shooting spree. Compared to Grady, who just wanted a conversation. He talked with the guy for 1 hour and 45 minutes, being unwilling to be vigilant about what's happening in Black America puts a target on all of us. He was unable to identify a white supremacist after 1 hour and 45 minutes of talking with him. What turned me off was a video clip I found entitled, quote, The Bible tells us to forgive, unquote. Church deacon says Buffalo shooting victims would forgive gunmen. About a CNN reporter in Buffalo who was coercing black people to talk about forgiveness. They are manipulating black people Notice they don't do that to any other group. They don't ask the Jewish community to talk about forgiveness when someone shoots up a synagogue. The mainstream media is trying to manipulate black people so that these politicians can justify not giving us a hate crime bill. This benign and neglect policy has been in place for 52 years and stems from the Moynihan report. To fully understand this report, go to my Medium transcript and scroll down to show and prove, and you will see the link. Click on it and read the full report. Basically, what this report was talking about was how black people was turning up in these urban cities across the United States after Dr. King Jr. was assassinated. This report was telling politicians not to make black people any promises and for them to ignore black issues. This is why when we start talking about black issues, these politicians flip the script and start talking about black and brown or minorities to move away from black people issues. At the end of the day, black people in America is enemy number one. Domestic terrorists are looking for vulnerabilities to harm black people. Black America, this is your last wake-up call. You are either going to be prepared or not. What makes you a soft target is not being on code with your cam. Having a black forum like this podcast is important so that we can speak to each other and share information. When we go to a white neighborhood, the police pull up real fast. Our motto is intelligence over ignorance. For those of you who are unprepared, they are full of Willie Lynch. There's no discipline or preparedness, which means there is no acknowledgement of a threat. Black people have become Americanized and less focused on the collective. Over here, that's who we are concerned about, the collective of the black masses, and that's who we are fighting for, our children who are trapped in American ghettos. Another point, plain dumb about the threat of white supremacy is the unwillingness to know what's in your best political interest. My question to my listeners, how do you feel about the response of our so-called black politicians in regard to the Buffalo massacre? Up until now, the biggest mistake we've made was to allow black politicians to get our vote while not demanding any tangibles. Promoting domestic terrorists like Dylan Roof help embolden hate groups and spark mass shootings of black people. Yet these hate groups are still on the internet, such groups like the Proud Boys and the Boogaloos. No RICO charges. It's cool. It's not cool being comfortable knowing you're unprotected. This makes you a soft target for domestic terrorists. The most important lesson we can learn from Buffalo is black America is unprepared. Again, I keep telling black America, either embrace annihilation or embrace survival. The choice is yours. Just imagine if you and your children were in that store. Just understand your life would be in danger simply because of your proximity with those who are not prepared. It's open season on black people, and many black people are unaware. Family, we need to be ready and stay ready. That's what we will teach our members in the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. If I could ever get this organization up and running. Being on code means we have a higher standard for ourselves and everybody around us. Allow me to explain what white supremacy means in America. For example, in the system of white supremacy, the suspect is in possession of a weapon with racial slurs written on it. His lawyer would argue that he has freedom of speech, and he also has a right to bear arms, according to the Second Amendment. Black people are not protected under such laws under white supremacy. A black person try to do open carry, and a road cop may kill you on the spot, just like what happened to Philando Castile and Alton Sterling. This lawyer will argue just because he has a gun with racial slurs on it doesn't make it a crime. In the Kyle Rittenhouse case, Rittenhouse sidekick Dominique Black committed a strawman gun purchase. Not only was Kyle Rittenhouse acquitted, but also Dominique Black. Dominique Black violated state and federal gun laws. This was a strawman gun purchase, and the state and the feds turned a blind eye. That's white privilege. From the moment Rittenhouse received the gun, which was an illegal strawman gun purchase, to the moment he crossed state lines, running around in public during a protest, he ended up killing 2 people. The judge, in his case, favored white supremacy over justice. In this day and age, we as black people cannot afford to be playing dumb about white supremacy in America. Through this podcast, it's my hope to mobilize our members here in America so that we can move from behind a computer or a smartphone and make our presence known in the black community, starting in Chicago. In America, there are 2 types of black people. One group who recognize that we have to confront systematic racism and white supremacy and fight against it, and others who recognize that systematic racism and white supremacy exists, but choose to ignore it or bow down to it. They accept being treated as 3rd and 4th class citizens as long as they are near massa. Black America was unprepared to deal with COVID-19 and these mass shootings. If Black America would have embraced my vision and plan 30 years ago, we would not be in this predicament. Trust me. All of these unnecessary casualties, all because black people refuse to work together. Our children end up paying the price for our mistakes. In Greco, Chicago, our main objective is to keep the black community awake and aware of what's going on through our black media component known as the New Black Voices of Media. I have separated myself from family members who are off code fully Willie Lynch. If I'm like that with my own family members, how do you think I'm going to be with strangers? Over here, I want to create a safe space for black millennials and Generation Z. After all, this organization is meant for you and your children, but we have to build it. I can't do everything. This is a Nehemiah assignment. I am calling on African and Caribbean immigrants in America to join forces with us in reclaiming Black Chicago so that we can be a model for other cities across the United States of America. Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. The 4th topic, the Texas massacre shooting. On behalf of the grassroots community activist movement, our hearts and prayers goes out to the victims, family members who lost their loved ones in this tragedy in Uvalde, Texas. I found an article from the Texas Tribune. The article mentioned a timeline of events. From what I've learned, a 18-year-old Latino male by the name of Salvador Ramos killed his grandmother and ran up into a elementary school, killing 19 children and 2 adults. The reason why this occurred is because the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, wanted people in Texas to have access to as many guns as they wanted because they respect people like George Zimmerman. When the governor changed the laws to make it where an 18-year-old can buy a gun to target black people, this encouraged an anti-black environment, but it backfired. When a black person in America does something that the dominant culture does not like, the financial elites immediately change the laws. For example, the governor of California, Ronald Reagan, changed the laws in California to target the Black Panthers. Nobody was worried about the Second Amendment then. The law was called Mulford Act. When it comes to clamping down on black people, the laws are adjust quickly. When it comes time to start mass incarcerating white people for abusing meth and opioids, all of a sudden it becomes a public health issue, unlike the crack epidemic during the 80s, which was viewed as a crime. These things are not accidental. It's all done by design. RICO only purpose is to lock up a mass number of people. The easiest way to move a large amount of people off prime real estate is to flood those areas with drugs, guns, and liquor stores. Crimes that will increase, and before you know it, local residents will sell their properties. Next thing you know, real estate developers will then gentrify the area. Crime-ridden communities serve as a great purpose for economic development. My message to black parents: if you leave your children in these public schools, they are at risk. As I try to understand the senseless violence, what comes to mind is that some people would do anything just to get clout or obtain 15 minutes of fame. The mainstream media has conditioned our youth that the gun is power, and mass shootings get the society's attention. Black youth are taught if you are near a gun in an open carrier state, then you will be targeted. These other groups have a gun culture. None of these black athletes or black celebrities said anything about the mass shootings in Buffalo. Now, all of a sudden, everyone wants to speak about what happened in Uvalde, Texas. In the news, I'm hearing a lot about anti-gun rhetoric. They're politicizing the issue to deflect the conversation. Congress just passed a resolution to condemn anti-Semitic. If you look closely at the resolution, every other word it says Jewish. It doesn't include people of color nor minority. They are looking out for their group. We're told we cannot look out for our group. We have to include everybody. That's not true, family. Europeans used the gun to colonize Australia, Africa, Brazil, the Caribbean, and New Zealand. The gun represents dominance, power, and control. I still recall Columbine back in 1999, 23 years ago. We had so many mass shootings since then. I was under the impression that after Sandy Hook, Wayne LaPierre, the NRA, and the conservatives would finally agree on some common sense gun control. The gun culture in America has become out of control. As I mentioned in my revised book, Chapter 7, I discuss common sense gun control. Having access to AR-15 assault rifles should be banned. They're not used as hunting rifles. They're used as a mass killing machine in warfare. I don't believe that the American public should have access to that type of firepower. We're living in a society that is telling us that our government is untrustworthy. How are you going to disarm a society that does not trust its government? Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not doing these podcasts every week for my health. These are real issues affecting, I would say affecting black people, because that's my audience, and that's my focus. And again, like I say, this is spiritual warfare at its best. Again, I challenge every black Christian in America. And I want to go even a step further. I challenge every black Christian around the globe that's on my friends list. All I ask you to do is just read my story. If you agree, then work with me to turn this vision into a reality. I don't have another 30 years to waste behind a computer. If it was up to me, this organization would be up and running in America, and I would be on the continent working with Africans, helping build up their economy and help create jobs. If I was just trying to do all of this stuff just to make money, I would have written many of books. I only written one book. That revised book is the foundation of my Christian business. And I want to work with, again, people that just want more out of life. I don't have time to debate. Stuff is too serious right now. COVID is back on the rise. And so, this stuff is just serious. And so, again, I sure wish that I had the support that I need to get the ball rolling. And again, this is going to take a miracle. But I want my people that's listening, I want to make myself clear. You do not have to live in the black ghettos to be part of this organization. Yes, I want to try to create a business that's going to help our brothers and sisters that's trapped in the in American ghetto, starting in Chicago. But my vision is not limited to the black ghettos. We want to bring this organization to the continent, so that way we can do international trade with our brothers and sisters on the continent. Over there, we're the majority. And if we would learn how to get along with each other and, try to work together, we can turn around our situations. But I'm focusing on at the grassroots level. I want people to understand that I am the example, my struggles. So all I'm saying is that this organization is based on my experience. And so I want to make sure that none of my members would never have to go through this foolishness. This is not cool at all. But somebody has to go through this. I don't like it, but, it is what it is. I don't like having to do this show every week and still, not seeing the results that I expect to see, because I'm putting in 100% on my end. not just talking about these issues. These issues are important, but I'm trying to let you know that I back up what I'm saying because I do the research. I take the time to write out my thoughts, present my information, and to encourage you, and that's my listeners, to support this support this organization by supporting the film project first and foremost. So that way we could turn this thing into a film, my revised book. Because I already got all the answers, and if you want to know what the solution is, read the book. With that being said, I'm going to open up the phone lines, and I'm going to wait around for about 15 minutes. If I don't hear any response for anyone, then we'll call it a day.